it's Kaos Nova here, and I was going to show you some basic tricks of making a multi-layer composite video with green screen as well in iMovie. So first of all, we're going to find the copyright-free images and videos, and so a little Google search here takes us to free wallpapers every day. And I'll have a link to this in the description in case you don't know where to find it. But this is a place where you can find free images to use in your video, and we always want to know about images and video that is not an issue of copyright. And the thing with these images and video is that they can be used for all sorts of matters, and you can build things from these copyright-free images and video. So it's great to look for something. I'm going to look for something abstract here before I get going on, and then we'll go to the video which you're going to edit. I'll also have links to video files in the description so you can download them or look for your own on websites such as this one. Now we're going to go into iMovie, and iMovie is, it's not great, but and we're going to start a new project here. So we go to Movie to start a new project. So iMovie isn't great. It doesn't have a lot of the AI assisted features that many other more sophisticated video editing software such as Premiere, Filmora, or Final Cut Pro have, but it is something that really works. So I'm going to look for the type of background animation. Just check one here. So we're going to choose the snowy background, put it into iMovie, and this snowy background isn't that long of a duration, so we're going to do copies and loop it. So we're going to take full animation and loop it. So now, as we have this repeating thing, animation that's gone on for quite a while at this point, we're going to find another animation. In this case, it's got the keyboard. It's actually the character of Kaos doing an animated keyboard play, and he's a supporting character in Battle Angel Alita. James Cameron has said that it's now projects of his he's going to work on, and that's why he's selling coastal property in California, because he just knows he says he won't be staying there. He's working on Battle Angel Alita and Avatar projects. So if these projects ever materialize, you will see this guy. He's a major supporting character. Anyways, I took the panels of the manga, and using GIFs, I made an animation of this guy playing a keyboard. So we're going to copy and paste with the guy playing a keyboard. Alright. And now, as this guy is playing a keyboard, you have to do the green screen effect in iMovie. But I have the duration, so I'm going to delete those out. But first, the copy-paste works on these special effects. So now I green screen him, and if I copy-paste, his green screen effect will copy along and paste along with that clip. So all the properties of that clip, including the green screen in iMovie, will copy and paste over. So now I can do the repeating loop, and his green screen effect will go into the repeating loop. So now we have Kaos playing the keyboard, and you see the snowflakes in his background playing along with him, which is pretty cool. And if you could find an animated thing of a guy playing an instrument or something, you can go and take that and you can put it into your video, add it into say a music video. Now there's a few more tricks you can do here. One is you could resize the little keyboard playing guy and have him as a frame within a frame. That's called picture-in-picture in iMovie. But as you know, you can't do more than one effect at the same time in iMovie. That's part of what you get, unfortunately, is it being a free app. that comes with an Apple product. So yeah, it's not the same as green screening, but you could get, this little keyboard guy playing within his own frame, within a larger frame. Once again, you do it on the first one, and when you copy and paste, the effect and position of the character of this overall animation, the effect of the animation carries over, so he stays in the same spot as you copy and paste, unless you manually take the clip, select it, and reposition it. Now this is split screen. You can do split screen horizontally and have a mirroring of the screen right and left. As you notice, this obviously is going to cut off based on where in the screen is the half of these screens is the halfway point. So since the halfway point for this guy playing the keyboard is located at a certain point, he cuts off both part of the base animation and the guy with the keyboard. Little keyboard man. Ooh. Now we're going to go and obviously just like previously, when you copy and paste and the base one has an effect, the effect carries over in the copy paste that you're using to loop the animation. So obviously this is not as interesting, but if you think about what you're doing with your split screen effect, you can use it to great effect. If you know what you're doing and you know how your video file is formatted. So I'm going to do this later with Filmora and how it works in Filmora, but for now this is just for iMovie. Now this is a different effect here. We're doing a selection, so we'll take these vertices and we're making it so only this part of the video will show. So only the part with him on the keyboard shows, but when you do it that way, you could potentially reposition them to great effect, because now you don't have to show the whole video file on the base on your background. So right here, obviously the keyboard guy is a little bigger because I selected and cut out part of his animation. And you also do it so that the green screen only applies to part of that video file. But right now I'm going to export it as an animation, and so I'm going to say Kaos playing in snow background. So this is going to be the video file I make from iMovie, and there's going to be a little trick here. Now you have to pick where on your hard drive you're going to save it. So I have a folder for iMovie projects, and now we're going to move into a new type of thing here. Now we're going to do composite green screening. We combine multiple elements, green screen them all into one big background. In iMovie it's a little more difficult. It's a free app. You can't do as many layers. You can only do up to 2 layers, maybe 3 if you can push it with a background, but that's about it with iMovie. So in here we're going to talk about how we're going to do multiple separate green screen elements in one big background. So now we need to add some files for this video, and we're going to find those files. So you should have your file somewhere on the hard drive. Now I've set aside a folder for the various files here, and I'm just going to go to movies, green screen project. So this is for all the elements I'm going to add to my project. So I bring them all in, import them all into my project. Now you can see I have Godzilla, 2 dancing girls, 1 dancing girl, Kaos playing keyboard. Now, like I said, you're limited on the number of layers. So here we're going to have a green screen background as a still image, but that's going to be the background for everything. So I'm going to make one big green screen with all these different characters in it. So I'm going to set aside a background. It's one big green screen. Now, you can't do so many layers at once. So instead of doing so many layers at once, we're going to have to make an export over and over again. So we're going to loop this animation of the 2 dancing girls, and we're going to do it as picture in picture here. And as you can see, I made sure to match the color so that these 2 dancing girls have the same color as the green screen does. Now, automatically, by default, you will have a fade in, fade out for when you're doing green screen elements. So take out the fade. Hi everyone. So now, as we do this, we are going to loop the two dancing girls, and we're going to keep building more and more of this big green screen of green screens. I'm just going to call it that, because it's multiple green screen elements all put together. So, we've got the dancing girls. We're going to add a new one a little bit after we loop this enough to make it cover the runtime of the bigger green screen still image. So I'm going to take this outline out of here because you don't want to see the black lines interfering with your green screen effect. So we'll look up here, outline, nope, no outline. Take it out. Alright. So, I have a couple of things going on when I was making this construction video. I know it's going off topic temporarily, but it's okay. So I'm going to make sure the colors are the same. So I'm going to take the green screen, do a little color match. But first of all, no more outline. Alright, now I'm going to extend this runtime by, continuing the copy-paste loop of the two girls dancing. So, paste, loop it a bit more, and then I have the whole runtime covered. Good. And since I, in the earlier one I said don't fade it in and out, it won't fade in and out. Somebody looking around here at another one. Godzilla, the guy on the keyboard, Kaos on the keyboard. The one other girl, or which one? So now I'm just polishing it a bit and make sure there's no gaps in between the clips of the girls dancing, so that there is no problem with looping it. Now that's a good thing about iMovie, and I like it about iMovie, is that you can easily just click and drag and push clips together so that there is no gap. So right now I'm going to export. This is one layer of green screen. So I'm going to export to my project folder, green screen project folder, and green screen layer 1. So this is going to be exported in iMovie to that one, and I'll take that whole video, making the whole layer, and this is going to repeat as a process. So it's exporting, and you can see in that little circle in the upper right corner of my iMovie window, application window, that the progress is going based on the fraction you see in this circle, little pie chart. So once it's done, I can just get the layer that I've exported and just delete all this and just use the new layer and put other elements of green screen on top of that layer. So exporting, about 3/4 done. It's going to be done soon. I mean, it won't be too big of a file. But one of the things I do not like about iMovie is that it's limited in terms of the resolution that you can output in an export based on what your clips you're using are. Now, other programs such as Wondershare Filmora, you can just say, hey, I'll output this as a higher 4K resolution if I want to. And that's what I like about Wondershare Filmora, because it has AI assisted functions, and you can just say, hey, I don't like this frame rate, I don't like this resolution, I want a higher resolution, higher frame rate, and you can auto enhance. And that's going to be more of what I do in the next tutorials. I'm going to show tricks with Wondershare Filmora, and it should be great doing that. So here we're going to go in this. While there's some polishing, we're going to take it all out because we have a full layer we're going to import to our project. That full layer is going to be right that you see right here. This is the entire thing we exported. So we have one layer, and now we're just adding the other individual dancing girl. So we're doing picture in picture to manipulate the size of her within the overall scene. So tinker with this a little bit to get the right size that I'm looking for. her on the green screen and take out the fade like I did before. And now, since I have the effect that I'm going to have looped over and over, take out the outline as well. No outlines, because it interferes with the green screen effect. So take that outline out. Now, I'm going to loop her and her effect carries over. Now I'm going to trim it down so that she is within the effect and she is within the time frame of the green screen. So this is there, and as I can see, it is looping. And now it's time to make this into a layer so we can add more elements. So just make sure it's polished up, and we're going to export this as layer number 2. Green screen layer 2. Thankfully, this layer 2 is exporting a little bit faster than the first one for some reason, but a welcome difference to be sure. Wow. That's exporting faster. So now we'll have a layer 2, and we'll delete this because we have all this that we put together in the new layer 2. So yes, it's more complicated, but it's doable in iMovie. You just need more steps. On the other hand, iMovie is a free app that you get with an Apple product. So if for a while you are saving up money to get a better app, this could be worthwhile if you know how to do this in a longer, more drawn out process. Now, with this export finished, we're going to get layer 2, and we're going to create layer 3 after removing all these. All right, so as we're here, we're going to finish exporting this third layer, and then we will progress forward and add the other layer, which will include Godzilla. First, being this is a free iMovie app with limited assistance by AI or artificial intelligence in the program. You have to do it more step by step. Now that we have the layer 3, we just delete everything and just use this whole composited layer 3. Now, yes, it gets a lot more simple with Filmora, and that will be my next tutorial is with Filmora, showing you how to do it that way, where you only need to export once for as many as 20 layers. But with iMovie being a free app as it is, it doesn't get that complex or that complicated. So, unfortunately, we'll go with this, but I'm just going to say I'm going to be showing a lot of the same techniques as I show here in my next tutorial, which would be Wondershare Filmora. Now, the playlist for this will be in the description, Chaos Tutorials, and I'll be showing you how to do it with a number of these video editing tricks. I've also shown how to do split screen in iMovie, and I will have the link and timestamp in the description about how you do that. Where you create split screen in iMovie using similar to this, you do it in multiple layers, where you create a layer, export it as a full video clip, and you repeat the process. So, but I'm going to be using tricks with Wondershare Filmora next week, or rather the next tutorial episode, because that it's just so much more simple. It works so much more, so much less steps, so many fewer steps. But you know, if you're at a point where you don't want to pay subscription costs, or you don't yet have the money to get Final Cut Pro or get a more advanced Filmora lifetime purchase, iMovie or other similar equivalent free video editing softwares are your best bet. So here I'm just, I did the similar thing as I did before, looping the Godzilla animation. So this is going to be another layer, but it'll be the final layer. So this is green screen layer 3. This will be the final green screen layer before I find my background and put it in. So it's exporting now. Going and going. 1/4. Now it's 1/3. So in the meantime, I'm just going to say, check out Kaos tutorials. I'm going to be, sharing what I've learned and the tricks that I've learned with video editing and other software applications. Recommend it to a friend if you can. If you think someone else could use some way to, you should use a little instruction on how to do various tricks and just getting started with video editing, you can recommend these video series to them. This video series also includes working on getting software installed with co-readers crossover and porting kit, which is getting Windows on Mac OS to work, and some of it is a little bit maneuvering just to figure things out because it's not added to the database for either of those porting softwares. But there's some software that, while it's made for Windows or Linux initially, can be used on Mac OS or used on Linux when it originally was made for Windows or Mac OS. So overall, some of my porting tutorials are pretty cool because just because you have a certain operating system doesn't mean some kinds of software that are originally built for that operating system cannot also run on the other operating systems. It's excellent. So check out Kaos tutorials. So I'm going to be coming up on an experimental background. One of my experimental backgrounds here is going to be the snowing background, or Snowflake background, which I used for Kaos on the keyboard. I'm also going to have a dance hall background as well, and I'll show you how to get some music. I'll include the links for the music I used in this video in the description, so that it's copyright free music, so you won't get docked for using it by anybody. You can also find it in various parts online if you want to. It's Campfire by Declan LP. So again, link to a lot of the various items I'm using in this will be in the description. I'll have the links there so you can download it yourself. Now, I'm just going over this right now and making sure I've got the looping correct. So now we're going to test it. So now we're going to have to get this out of the scene. So layer 3 is going to be deleted for now, and now the base video is going to be the snowing animation. So we're going to put that over and make sure we have the snowflake animation looping. So we're going to do that. Do the loops like we did before with multiple copies pushed together of the snow animation. So keep doing that. And what I'm going to say here is this is just an introduction to how to use these effects in iMovie. Please, by all means, it's just a springboard to something bigger. So now I applied the green screen effect in the iMovie effects menu. So yeah, now you see him dancing with snow in the background. But please, this is just an introduction for you as a tutorial episode. If you're working with video editing and you have spare time, explore, play around with this effect. and know how you can make better videos on our own. So now we're going to go into a different background. We're going to import the colored lights dance hall background, and we'll try the same thing with this as well. So the dance hall background loops, but it's only a fraction of the time. Now the end output video I have from this tutorial will also be available. You can look at it, and I have it in my YouTube channel, so you can find that finished product in the description as well that I made from this tutorial. So either way, again, you apply the green screen, make sure the dance floor background is looped so that it covers the time period of your green screen layer animation. So now you have the green screen, you have the loop, you go. Now, as I finish up this special effects tutorial using iMovie, I just want to recommend some of my other content I make. I make fan-based content for The Matrix, Battle Angel Alita, and a number of other anime or sci-fi franchises, and I recommend checking those out if you enjoy anime and sci-fi. And obviously I'm doing anime for the special effects, but I enjoy the variety of those things, so you can check out my Matrix playlist, Battle anime content. Those are all great too as well, and I'll have a next episode of Kaos tutorials using special effects in Filmora. So if you want to have some video editing tricks to learn, I'll have them there in that next tutorial. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. You can do a number of things. You can subscribe, and you can also join my community for more exclusive content by clicking join and being a special subscriber of mine. Meantime, I want to thank you all for stopping by to give a watch to this wonderful episode of Kaos Tutorials, and hopefully this gets you inspired and moves you along in your discovery of new techniques when editing video. And I wish you all a wonderful night. As I finish this tutorials episode, I'm going to be signing off. In the meantime, from me to you, farewell. Hi everyone, Kaos Nova here, and I just want to show some basics on my channel here. I've got some recommended channel. This is introduction. I have a nice introduction for those who are visiting my channel homepage for the first time, to explain the ins and outs. I have a couple of extra places here on my channel. I have my merchandise store for you to check it out. I'm just updating it. So it's just some fun merchandise. T-shirts, shoes, cups, mouse pads, cell phone stickers, coffee mugs, etc. Nice little place. Also, something for showcasing episodes is you can reach me on my Facebook page. Send me a Facebook message and include, let's say showcase contributions, and have a link of that video. When you do, follow me on Facebook too. I've got some nice things there. Also, I've got Instagram for just showing some jokes and memes and announcements such as Tron Ares happening and other pop culture things that I view. So I recommend the Instagram page, and I also have a Rumble. My Rumble channel is mostly focused on doing hobby stuff, and some things are not found on YouTube, but they are found on my Rumble, so I recommend checking out the Rumble channel. And that should conclude it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I am going to be signing off. Hi everyone, Kaos Nova here, and this is the ending of the video presentation on Kaos tutorials. And here's the deal: if you want to see more of my tutorials on getting your old games to work on Mac, and you want to see more tutorials on how to do various other tasks, such as very cheap ways to make YouTube videos that still look decent, and much more, feel free to subscribe. And if you want to be among the first to get each video, hit the notifications. And please, if you enjoy liking this, your vote still counts, so please click the like with a big thumbs up. All right, you have a wonderful day, and I'll be signing off.